you have those fourth and one, those 2 fourth and ones that didn't work? And did you like Kevin having the aggressiveness there, even backed up in your territory?
I mean, first, that's a rude question to ask. If I think, it was a great call by my coach,
You like the aggression. Not you like the call, but do you like...
I like being out there playing. so whatever that comes with, it comes with, we not going to be here and ever point finger at no coach or do anything like that. That's extremely disrespectful, and that's not even in my place. So I'm thankful for being out there, honestly, and I'm thankful that he trusts us as an offense to be able to go out there and be able to execute. Did we execute? No, we didn't. But, I'm just thankful that we have that trust.
The Cleveland Browns' terrible 26-8 loss to the San Francisco 49ers at Huntington Bank Field on Sunday wasn't just another loss in a season that fans want to forget. It was a look into the complete mess that was going on inside this team, a scary look at the problems that are tearing this team apart from the inside, and a shocking fight that has everyone wondering if this Browns offense will ever be able to work together. What happened on that sideline wasn't just a fight between teammates. It was a full-blown explosion, a volcanic eruption of anger that the cameras caught in excruciating detail, and it's sending shockwaves through the whole organization and fan base.
Shedeur Sanders and Jeudy were having a spirited sideline conversation on what looked like some sort of disagreement. Earlier in the game, Sanders couldn't connect with Judy, who was shaking his head after the missed opportunity. Sanders chalked it up to just needing some time to develop chemistry with his receivers.
It's going to take time to be able to develop that chemistry, to be on the same page with Jerry. Of course, you want to be able to get him the ball, but you got to understand it takes time.
Jeudy, the talented but frustratingly inconsistent wide receiver who was supposed to be one of Shedeur Sanders' main weapons, completely lost it on the rookie quarterback in the fourth quarter. The cameras showed everything in horrible, unedited detail. Judy, who was clearly angry and animated, could be seen telling Sanders, "That's wrong," while they both huddled around a tablet, looking at what looked like a blown play or missed connection. The way the person moved their body told the whole story. Frustration boiling over, no chemistry at all, and two players who are supposed to be working together perfectly but are actually on completely different wavelengths. This wasn't a small argument or a normal coaching moment. This was a veteran receiver telling a rookie that he messed up in front of the coaching staff, teammates, and millions of people watching at home. The way things look is terrible for the Browns, who are trying to build something good around their young franchise quarterback. How is Shedeur Sanders supposed to gain confidence and respect in the huddle when one of his best receivers is openly challenging him on the sideline? This fight is even more dangerous because of where it happened. The Browns offense had a hard time all game, getting only 253 yards and 1 touchdown against the 49ers defense that was practically begging them to move the ball. When the fourth quarter came and Judy lost it, the Browns were already in a deep hole with no real way to win. The frustration had been growing all game long.
Hey, listen, I understand it. And you know what? Honestly, it's up to Shedeur. The reporters are going to ask whatever they can ask and see what they can get out of him. It's his job to be able to answer those questions correctly and be politically correct. Obviously, take up for his coach and not throw his coach under the bus. And that's pretty much it. So he's well versed in that area, and he's really polished, especially when it comes to talking to the media. He might not answer the questions like a Tom Brady, or Drew Brees or Peyton Manning, but he answers them his way in a way that we all understand, and it's the correct way.
Drive after drive of stalled possessions, missed chances, and an offense that seemed completely out of sync. The fact that there are conflicting accounts of what happened on the play in question makes the situation even more interesting and troubling. Reports and Sanders' own admission after the game say that there was a misconnection that could have led to a touchdown. Sanders threw a pass to Judy that didn't seem to be on target, a play that could have changed the game, but instead turned out to be just another missed chance. The young quarterback quickly took responsibility for the bad throw, admitting that the ball wasn't where it should have been and that he didn't give his receiver a chance to make a play. But this is where things start to get complicated and the real story comes out. Sanders was quick to take the blame in public, but there is another side to this that can't be ignored. Jeudy isn't in a position to point fingers and call out other people's mistakes. His rookie quarterback, who is still getting used to the game and trying to build chemistry with receivers he hasn't had much time to practice with, is the least of his problems. The cold, hard numbers show that Judy's performance this season has been terrible, and they make you wonder if he has any right to be yelling at Sanders when his own play has been so bad. Let's talk about those numbers because they are, in the worst way possible, mind-blowing. With 9 drop passes, Jeudy is the NFL's leader in this category. Please read that again. Leads the league. Not second place, not tied for first place, but outright first place in the one category that no receiver ever wants to win. 9 dropped passes in a season is way too many. It's a good reason to seriously question a receiver's focus, concentration, and ability to be trusted as the main target in an NFL offense. But it gets worse. So much worse. This season, Judy has only caught 35 of the 80 targets. He has caught 35 of the 80 balls thrown his way, which is less than 44%. That's not how receivers make money. That's a lack of skill on the part of the receiver. For comparison, top receivers catch between 65 and 75% of their targets. Even average receivers should catch 55 to 60% of the time. Judy isn't just below average. He's in a category of uselessness that suggests he either can't consistently catch NFL passes or he's so out of sync with his quarterbacks that the whole relationship is beyond repair. The worst passer rating in the league this season is 35.8. which is the most damning stat of all. Let that sink in. When NFL quarterbacks throw the ball to Judy, they get the lowest passer rating in the league. If a quarterback threw the ball into the ground every time, their passer rating would be 39.6. That means that statistically, throwing to Jeudy is worse than just throwing the ball away every time. You can't be that bad. But here we are. When Jeudy is caught on camera saying, "That's wrong," to Shedeur Sanders, when he's animatedly pointing fingers and openly showing frustration with his rookie quarterback, the whole thing is so ridiculous that it almost makes you laugh. This is a wide receiver who can't catch the ball, leads the league in drops, has been thrown to 80 times and caught less than half of those passes, makes every quarterback who throws to him look bad, and has the nerve to call out his quarterback on the sideline. It really is amazing how little they know about themselves. Shedeur Sanders deserves a lot of credit for how he handled this situation. He acted with maturity and professionalism that is way beyond what he has done before. Sanders said in his post-game comments that he was fully to blame for missing the connection with Judy. He said the throw was off and that he needs to do better. But he also very diplomatically and intelligently talked about the bigger issue at hand. Sanders said that chemistry and timing take time to build, especially when you're working with a new quarterback and receiver. And this is very important for understanding how he thinks. As players and teammates, we need to work together. That takes some time. We won't be like a microwave. There will be sparks here and there. That statement shows that the quarterback understands the bigger picture, knows that success right away isn't realistic, and is willing to work through the growing pains to build something that will last. But it also has a message for his receivers, including Judy, that is not so clear. Everyone needs to wait. Everyone has to do their part. And pointing fingers from the sidelines won't speed up that process. The comment about the microwave is especially smart because it shows how unrealistic expectations are for rookie quarterbacks. Sanders knows that he won't be able to immediately get along with receivers he's only worked with a little bit. He knows that there will be mistakes, misunderstandings, and times when he is angry. What he really wants from his teammates is patience and support, not public fights that make him feel less confident and in charge. The game was a perfect example of how the Browns' season went. There were flashes of potential, but then long periods of incompetence. Cleveland got off to a good start, and in the first quarter, Shedeur Sanders looked like a franchise quarterback. He completed 5 of 7 passes for 44 yards, moving the ball well and giving Browns fans a taste of what this offense could be like if it got the right coaching and development. The 10-play, 90-yard touchdown drive ended with a beautiful 34-yard touchdown pass to tight end Harold Fannin Jr. And for a short time, it seemed like this team might have figured something out. The ground game was going well, The passing game looked sharp, and Sanders was making quick, sure choices. The way the Browns played in the first quarter made it seem like they had figured out how to win. And then, like it has all season, everything went wrong. The second half was a total failure. This Browns season has been a complete return to the mean. After halftime, Cleveland could only get 60 yards on 5 drives. An offensive level of failure that would be bad for a high school team, let alone an NFL team. Turnovers and mistakes on special teams made the offense even worse. Harold Fannin, the same tight end who had scored the touchdown earlier, fumbled on 4th down, ending a promising drive and killing any momentum the Browns had built up. Then, Gage Larvadain messed up a punt, which was a disaster for the special teams and put San Francisco in a great position at the Browns' 18-yard line. The 49ers, who are professional and efficient, did exactly what any good NFL team would do with that field position. They took advantage of the situation, built on their lead, and pretty much ended the game. Shedeur Sanders went 16 for 25 for 149 yards and 1 touchdown in the game, numbers that show both hope and things that need to be fixed right away. A completion rate of 64% is good. The fact that there is 1 touchdown for every 0 interceptions is good, but the total yardage is worryingly low. If a quarterback only throws for 149 yards in a whole game, it could mean that the play calling is very safe, that there aren't many chances to throw the ball downfield, or that the receivers aren't getting open and making plays when the ball comes their way. It's pretty clear where a lot of the blame lies, based on what we know about Judy's stats and play this season. You can't expect your rookie quarterback to throw for a lot of yards when your number 1 receiver can't catch the ball, is dropping passes at a record rate, and quarterbacks who throw to him have the worst passer rating in the league. Sanders is basically working with one hand tied behind his back because he has to run an offense where his supposed best weapon is actually a problem. The chemistry problem that Sanders talked about after the game is real and very important. In the NFL, quarterbacks and receivers build their relationships through thousands of repetitions, hours of practice, and an almost telepathic understanding of how to run routes, when to throw the ball, and where to put it. It took time for great quarterback-receiver pairs like Tom Brady and Randy Moss, Peyton Manning and Marvin Harrison, or Joe Montana and Jerry Rice to get that chemistry. It took years of working together, getting to know each other's habits, and building trust through both good and bad times. Shedeur Sanders and Jeudy don't have that kind of history. They haven't done those thousands of reps yet. They are still getting to know each other and learning how to talk to each other and how the other person sees the game. That process is hard even when things are going well. It's almost impossible when one side is dropping almost half of the balls thrown their way, and the other side is a rookie trying to prove he belongs in the NFL. The Judy situation is even worse because of what it says to the rest of the locker room. When a veteran receiver publicly criticizes a rookie quarterback, especially one who is clearly the future of the team, it causes problems. Some players start to pick sides. People start to talk behind each other's backs. And before you know it, the locker room is broken and can't possibly win on the field. It is very important for NFL locker rooms to have good leaders. And what Judy did on the sideline wasn't being a leader. It was selfishness and not knowing what was going on with yourself at all. A real leader, like a veteran who really cared about the team's success and the young quarterback's growth, would have handled that situation very differently. He would have taken Sanders aside and talked to him calmly about the misconnection, what each player saw on the play, and how they could all work together to make sure it doesn't happen again. He definitely wouldn't have had a heated argument with his finger in front of the cameras, the coaching staff, and everyone else on the sideline. It's also important to look at when Judy's explosion happened. It was already pretty clear who would win the game by the fourth quarter. The Browns were behind by a lot. They had shown very little ability to move the ball consistently, and there was almost no chance that they would be able to come back. So, what did Judy want to do with his rant on the sidelines? Was he trying to get Sanders to work harder? Not very likely because of the way it was done. Was he trying to shift the blame away from his own bad performance? More likely. Did he just let out his anger about another losing season? Most likely. But here's the thing about veteran receivers who lose their cool in public. It never does any good. Not once in the history of professional football has a receiver yelling at their quarterback on the sidelines made the team play better or get along better. It has the opposite effect, if anything. It makes people nervous, hurts relationships, and makes the quarterback second-guess their next throw. When Sanders drops back to throw on the next drive and Jeudy is running his route, the quarterback is no longer sure what to do. Do I need to throw it to him? Will he be able to catch it? Will he hold me responsible if the play doesn't work? You don't want your new quarterback to think like that. The Browns coaching staff needs to deal with this right away and in a clear way. Kevin Stefanski needs to be strong and make it very clear that this kind of behavior is not okay, even though he is not a good play caller. There needs to be a clear chain of command and hierarchy. Judy can talk to coaches or Sanders privately about any problems he has with a play call or a throw. Public fights can't happen because they go against the very foundation of what the team is trying to build. Also, the coaches need to talk to Jeudy about how he's doing in a tough way. 9 drops is too many for the league leader. A passer rating of 35.8 when targeted is a good reason to bench someone. The Browns can't keep giving targets to a receiver who clearly can't catch the ball or help the offense score points. If Judy can't or won't fix his problems, he needs to have his role cut back a lot. Instead, give those chances to younger receivers who can actually catch the ball. It's truly amazing how different Judy's performance is from the way he seems to think he has the right to publicly criticize others. It reminds me of the worst kind of veteran entitlement, where a player who was once good acts like they're still playing well even when the numbers say otherwise. Judy moved to Cleveland from Denver with a reputation as a good but inconsistent receiver. Unfortunately, this season he's shown a lot more inconsistency than talent. This sideline explosion is just another chapter in a season-long horror story for Browns fans. They've seen their team lose 3 games and win 9. They've had to deal with conservative play calling that won't let their young quarterback loose. They've had problems with their special teams and their defense. Now they have to watch their veteran receivers publicly put down their rookie quarterback. It dies slowly, and every week seems to bring a new low. If there's a silver lining to this mess, it's Shedeur Sanders' reaction to it. He didn't blame Judy in the press conference after the game, even though he would have been right to do so. He said it was his fault that he missed the throw. He talked about how important it is to build chemistry, and he stayed calm and professional. That's what a real leader does. They know that blaming others in public doesn't help anyone, and that the only way to move forward is through hard work and better execution. As the season goes on and the Browns look to the future, Sanders' comment about not being a microwave thing will become more and more important. Everyone involved, ownership, coaching staff, teammates, and fans, needs to be patient when building a successful offense around a young quarterback. Mistakes will happen. There will be problems as you grow, and there will be times when you feel frustrated. But if everyone is on board with the process, the development timeline, and each other's struggles, then there is a real chance that something special will happen. The question is if Jeudy is willing to be a part of that process, or if he will keep being a problem. His outburst on the sideline makes it seem like he cares more about shifting blame than taking responsibility. His stats show that he isn't doing his part as a quarterback receiver, and his body language during this game made it seem like he had mentally checked out of the season, and maybe even his time in Cleveland. If the Browns really want to build around Shedeur Sanders, which they should, they need to get him players who will help him grow instead of hurt him. That means receivers who can catch the ball every time. That means veterans who set an example instead of fighting in public. That means an offensive system that lets the quarterback throw the ball a lot, so he can get the timing and chemistry with his pass catchers right. Cleveland's season is over, and the 26-8 loss to San Francisco is just one game in it. But the Jeudy sideline explosion could be even worse than that. A crack in the foundation that, if not fixed right away, could have long-term effects. The Browns can't let this situation get worse. Let veteran players publicly undermine their franchise quarterback or put up with the kind of selfish behavior that Judy showed. From now on, everyone needs to be held accountable. Judy needs to fix his problems with dropping things or take on a smaller role. The coaches need to give Sanders more chances to throw the ball so he can work on his timing with receivers. The whole team needs to support their young quarterback instead of tearing him down when things don't go as planned. If they don't, they'll keep going down this path of dysfunction and blaming others, which will waste another promising young quarterback and keep this franchise stuck in a cycle of failure that has lasted too long. Shedeur Sanders should have had a better time on that sideline. He needs receivers who can catch, coaches who will let him throw, and veterans who will help him instead of hurt him. Now the question is if the Cleveland Browns have the sense and guts to give him those things. If they don't, this explosion on the sidelines won't be seen as a one-time thing. It'll be seen as the moment when everything started to fall apart before it ever really had a chance to come together.
What do you think of Judy's freakout on the sidelines? Did he have the right to call out Shedeur Sanders? Or does a receiver who leads the league in drops have no right to criticize anyone? Should the Browns sit Jeudy down until he fixes his hands? Or do they need to keep throwing him the ball to try to get him to work with the other players? Leave your brutally honest opinions in the comments below, because this is the kind of controversial situation that needs to be talked about. If you're as angry about the Browns' problems as I am, hit the like button, subscribe so you never miss our no-holds-barred coverage of this team's ongoing chaos, and ring the notification bell. We aren't afraid to tell you what's really going on in Cleveland. You need to be a part of this community if you want that kind of honest analysis. Keep holding everyone in the Browns organization accountable until next time. That's the only way this team will ever get better.